I get a lot of questions about use of the foam roller in helping to alleviate pain caused by iliotibial band syndrome and other uses. But today we're going to cover its use for iliotibial band syndrome. A lot of people use foam rollers and get relief from them. But what I find is that many of those people keep going back to the foam roller and back to the foam roller and back to the foam roller over and over again because they're not taking care of the root cause of the tightness, the root cause of the tension, the root cause of the iliotibial band syndrome. So there are numerous causes for that, but this is one way that I consider to be a more effective way of using the foam roller. And that is not just using the foam roller, but complementing the use of the foam roller with exercise and strengthening of the opposing muscle group from the one that's tight. So I'll just show you right now. So I've got my handy dandy little foam roller. In this case, this is like a 5 or 6 inch diameter foam roller. It's a shorty. I like this one because it fits more easily in my house, although I have different sizes. But this is the one that I use, and you can use any size that you have. It's fairly firm, but it's not as firm as the blue ones, the darker blue ones. This is like a larger cell foam, so there is some give to it. Again, you can use different, from more firm to less firm ones like this, but I encourage you, if you're going to start out, to use something with more of an open, a larger cell, foam cell size like this that has a little bit of give. And then move on perhaps later to the more rigid, denser foam model, okay? So the iliotibial band, to be clear, runs along from the hip down to the knee, along the lateral side of the leg. And I'm going to loosen that up. I'm going to start by starting up by the hip itself. And there's no science to this, really. This is just, it's really all about feeling good. So you've got to get onto the foam roller, and you've got to get your weight on it. If you can't get your weight onto your hip at least, then that's a place that you could start, keeping most of your weight onto the floor and slowly starting at the hip. Now, once you can get some weight onto the hip, then you just slowly roll, just like you're using a rolling pin, down your leg. And I suggest slow, because the idea here is that you want to allow your muscles time to release as you roll down, so that you're not just rolling over tightened muscle that you're tensing up so that you can bear the pain. Okay, that's not the idea. The idea is to find a spot, allow the muscle to release, and then move on a little bit. Okay? Move on a little bit, move on a little bit, move on a little bit. And you can keep going back and forth just like you're using a rolling pin on dough. That's the idea. So you kind of work your way down. Now I've reached a particularly tight spot on my leg. I might pivot a little bit just to see, is there a better angle that I can get this tension at than simply going along the side of my leg. And there may be. So I encourage you to pivot slightly. Now I'm reaching the bookcase, so I'm going to come off and I'm going to reset where I started off. Actually, where I ended off. And work my way down. Just slowly work my way down. Until I get to the knee, and I might come back up. Generally, I prefer rolling down rather than up. In the next segment, I'm going to show you the strengthening the opposing muscle, which would be the adductor, the adductor, and the inside of the leg.